You can't play that character because we've locked that character for you. You can't play that. So a few videos back, I said that life is basically a movie and you are the main star. You are the main character of your movie. And I want to delve just a little bit deeper into that, just so people can have more of an understanding of how I think about me saying these words. Now, about 4 or 5 years ago, I heard the term NPC. I knew what an NPC was. For those of you that don't know, an NPC is a non-playable character, which is normally within computer games. So you could be playing, I don't know, Resident Evil, and the same person is in the same place all the time, or Grand Theft Auto. You can go to a certain place, and there is always that character in the same place. They don't look different. They don't say anything different. They just carry on living the same life over and over and over again. And over the past 6 or 7 months, I've been really trying to think about my life and where I want to go in my life and the aspects of my life that I've enjoyed and that I haven't enjoyed. And then it's become apparent of all the different characters that I've played. You see, if life is a movie or if life is a computer game, we have the ability to play any character in that game we want. And we can change that role at any time. We can change our appearance at any chance. We can change the way that we dress, the way that we look any single time. Like literally, I could go and change my top now, take off the bandana, put my glasses on, and I would be a completely different person. I'll become a different character. So today, this is the character that I'm playing. I don't know what this character is, but this character, I like this character because this character has a lovely hoodie that many people in the comments always ask me for. And unfortunately, this hoodie is not available for people. But by the way, there is new hoodies available. If you go to the banner or you go to my YouTube channel homepage, go to the shop, there's a link to Teespring. There's a new design there. If you get it now, then maybe it'll be in time for Christmas. A little bit more expensive than if I went local because I can't mass produce. If you are interested in some new merch, go and have a look at the banner below or go over to the shop. But if you'd like to support the channel and you want some merch, then you know where to go. So I really do believe that I've lived more lives or different characters in my life than many people that I come across, many people that I meet in real life, many people that are close to me. I believe that I've lived so many different styles of life, and I don't just mean living alternatively. This is just something that I choose for now. I might change my character tomorrow and might want to rent a house in the middle of a city. I can't see that happening. I think that character got deleted a long time ago. But we have the ability to choose who we are and to change what we do. Lots of people go into the same role that their parents followed, which their parents followed, which their parents followed. And it doesn't matter if that's on an educational basis where they follow the same educational backgrounds as their parents. If they choose a career path which is the same as their parents, which sometimes is the same as their parents, which sometimes is the same as their parents, which kind of happened in my family just a little bit. So it's nice to break through from that. But I nearly didn't break from that because I nearly carried on the same profession that both of my parents do, which both of my grandparents would have done a part of, if that makes sense. So I'm glad that I changed that cycle up a little bit because we just do what we know, or we do what we told, we do what we learn. And it's completely acceptable to follow them paths. That no one is saying that no one shouldn't follow something that they really want to do. If they feel like they want to be a lorry driver because their parents are lorry drivers, then go ahead and be a lorry driver. There is nothing wrong with that. But remember, there's other things that you might enjoy more. I've been really looking at my past lives, and I do believe there's a lot of them. There's different places that I've worked, there's different career paths and choices that I've made. There's different scenarios regarding my where I reside and the people around me. Like there's always been different people around me, different groups of people. And I'm really now sitting down and I'm starting to write down, I've written down some of the better things that I believe I've done. Some of the things that have brought me the most enjoyment, some of the things that have brought me the most freedom, some of the things that have brought me the most satisfaction in life. All these things are in different roles. So now I'm actually writing down and working out what I liked about each role of different styles and versions of my life that I did. And there's quite a lot actually that when I add up the dots, there's a thing that comes back to. There's quite a few things that come back to, and they merge with each other. Now, this is for me, this is private for me, but there's certain things that I quite like, and there's certain situations that I might have been in that I didn't like, that was still part of a lifestyle that I enjoyed. So it is really about me working out where I want to go next, what I want to be next, the person I would like to be next. This is why I decided to change my appearance a little bit. I decided to be a little bit more presentable, be a bit more clean shaven, look smart, take care of myself just a little bit more. I like this part of my life. I like this part of a character. This part of a character was when I was working very, very professional work, that I always made sure that I looked the standard of the work that I was delivering to the clients that I was working on behalf. And I've worked all sorts of different jobs. I've had all sorts of different hobbies. And we get told when we're younger and when we're in school and we go and speak to a careers advisor what they would like us to do at the age of 13 to 15 is to say, I want to be this, I want to be that. And then they say, you can't do that because you don't have the qualifications. You can't be that person. You can't play that character because we've locked that character for you. You can't play that. So before most people get out of the education system, their mind has already been programmed to what they can and cannot achieve in life, what their goals should be and what their goals shouldn't be. And it's really sad because I went to school with some people that I thought were very, very intelligent. I thought they were destined to go on and do good things. And I look back now and I see the path that they took because they got told they couldn't do that. And I seen it in them. I seen what these people would be capable of doing. And there's three categories that I really identify myself. There's the people that the school will allow and encourage you to be successful. There's the people that we need. These are your common day slaves that need to do the work and the jobs and the tasks that no one else does. And then there is the government bots. And I give that role a go because I got told that I couldn't do anything. My goal in life, the things that I wanted to do, I got told that it wasn't achievable for me to do. So my biggest dream when I was young was to be an airline pilot. But going through childhood and being told that you can't do this is something that you cannot do, I didn't follow it up. I didn't decide to go to aviation classes. I didn't decide to research. I played flight simulators, but I didn't have any interest because I was already being told that it's something that I couldn't have done. And it might have been the case that I couldn't have done it, but the fact is I should have been encouraged to go down that route of wanting to be working within aviation, to go and be an airline pilot. And I slowly come to the conclusion that I still wanted to travel. So I had it in my brain for a little while, and you can laugh at this, but I was thinking about me rather than the job itself. I was thinking, what job will get me to different countries? What job is going to give me them life experiences? And I was thinking this at a young age, and I came to a conclusion that I wanted to be an air host. Now, can you see that? I can. I could have seen that if I did go down that route, I would have been good at it. I would have enjoyed doing that, and it would have been something quite nice. But once again, I was hit back. I was hit back by people that laughed and joked. I was hit back by the people that bullied. And apparently I didn't fit the category of the young male that would be required to work that kind of job. So that hit that out of the window. While this is still happening, I'm actually working. I'm working for £9.50 an hour. Bear in mind, I was only 15 or 16 at the time. I was doing silver service. I'm not going to say where I was doing silver service, but I was working for very high class country house. Let's say country house in a nice part of Cheshire. So I did this for about a year and a half, and it come to the Christmas party one year. And this is into the new year because there's always functions for the privileged amongst us. So we have our staff due probably end of January, middle of January, and I get that poorly because I'd never drank that much. And I was convinced that I was spiked, but chances are I was just young and naive and just drank too much. I was too ashamed to go back to that job the next lot of functions. So I had to find something else. I'd just finished school. I hadn't got this job anymore, which was paying damn well for the age that I was. So I started going to car dealerships and seeing if they wanted someone to go and wash the cars. I got taken on by a car dealership just to valet cars. So I got my experience of driving, which was then putting me on the same path as my parents. So washing cars wasn't for me. The wage wasn't very good. My hands were getting cold. I was miserable. Yes, I had the experience of driving some very, very fancy cars at a young age, but I wanted something more. I wanted to work something that I wanted something more. I wanted to have that more money in the bank account. So I started looking at jobs, and I seen that there was so many jobs for people to work in security work. And I never thought that I would be that person that would go and do shifts working nighttime in building sites, commercial enterprises, looking after people's real estates. I never thought that I'd be that person, but I grasped the opportunity, and the main reason why I did it is because I knew somebody else that did the job, and I was well aware of how much money they were bringing in on the overtime. Despite them working so many hours, I was oblivious to this. I was oblivious to how many hours that I would be fulfilling. And I probably did it for about a year. And then I seen an opportunity come up as a CCTV operative. So I heard about a possible job that was coming up as a CCTV operator. But to get myself into the door, I had a connection that got me a cleaning job for the same building where this job for CCTV operative was happening. So I took a month of the crap work. So I did this rubbish job of mopping floors, and I did this just so that I could be in the right place, because I knew I was in the right place and I was looking to advance where I was going to in my life, and they were putting out an opportunity for a position to be filled. If I'm in the right place at the right time, then possibly I get that job. This paid off. This paid off. The hours and hours and hours of working stupid hours in the evening, like sometimes just 2 hours here and then back in the morning to do a couple of hours. But by doing that, I managed to make relationships with the building owner, with the contract managers, with the vendors, the people that own the shops. I managed to put a smiley face on. I was polite to everybody, made sure that I was well known. And when the opportunity came up, I took the opportunity to take this job. At this point, I was one of only a few people in the country that had my security license for the CCTV and surveillance, which gave me a massive heads up. The heads up was that all of a sudden the licensing came into effect. My license was already issued to me before the licensing for the CCTV sector come into effect. So any job that I wanted was out there for me. And I really, really enjoyed the job. The job was exciting. It was fast paced. It was demanding. But at the same time, there was a lot of paperwork. There was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of trauma that comes with doing work like that. I seen things that people shouldn't see. And bear in mind, I would have only been 20, 21 at the time. I should never have been exposed to the stuff that I was exposed to. In fact, I was even exposed to personal attacks. There was things that happened in my life to me and my family because of the job and the career path that I'd chosen. Now, because of that, I decided to go a little bit more quiet. I moved out of the area. I started playing a different character. The different character that I started playing was a little bit more of a family man. This character lived in a different location. He had a sports car. This character lived a normal, everyday life. I got myself a job with the University of Chester on student welfare and security, mainly more security than student welfare, but it tails underneath all one job. I took on responsibilities that weren't my responsibilities because I chose the character in the job that I wanted to play. And I really played that job. I played that job for 9.5 years. I played that job better than anybody else played that job. And I enjoyed the job. The job was absolutely fantastic. And it brought me a very nice wage. Even by today's standards, the wage that I was on would be more than acceptable for many people today that have a professional job. And that was mainly because I was working 90, 100 hours a week some weeks. And when I wasn't working, I was always working. My phone was always on. If I was going out for the evening, I'll get a phone call that such and such can't turn up for their shift. And because it was me that helped organize the shifts, it's my responsibility. If I can't fill the shift, it's up to me to do the shift. So sometimes I could play it on my terms and I could delegate and ask someone else to go and do that work for me, or that I could take on that extra overtime and go to work and essentially just sleep all night. So I just slept most of the night. I used to wake up every hour, sometimes do the check call that we have to do to make sure that my manager knows I'm safe. And sometimes we'd walk around and buzz the little points in the building. Now, 9 out of 10, the computer that never gets downloaded. No one's ever going to check it. And if they do check it, are they going to check it for all these hours for every single person? I don't think they're going to do it. So I tried to get it. So I just tried to get away with it, and I did. So I become lazier and lazier and started making YouTube videos while I was at that job, rather than being at that job and counting how many lights were out or if the radiators are coming on at a certain time. I wasn't interested in that. I was concentrating putting the footage together from my days off to edit to put onto my YouTube channel. Part of my job at the university that I really enjoyed was doing the welfare side of things. Any engagements with the students, which bear in mind a lot of the students were my age or older than me at this point, helping them out with their problems, helping them out when they're distressed, organizing and facilitating their needs. I enjoyed that side of the job. If there was anything that went wrong, if there was anything that needed to be dealt with, I could deal with it in a calm and professional manner, and even write it up in such a way that it looks like it was written as a police statement, going back for the job that I had working for a police control room. Now, during doing this job, I was seeing that I was just doing the same thing week in, week out. And every time I got to a comfortable level with my responsibilities, Martin, next week, do you mind just doing, yeah. So that responsibility comes here. And then it becomes the standard. Then my line is here. And a few weeks after, the responsibilities get put to an even higher level. And then that becomes the main norm. And there becomes a point where I think the money that I am earning right now, the responsibilities that I have, the work effort that I have to put in now, I'm not interested. Like, you're taking me away from the sleep that you're paying me to have. And I did this for 9.5 years, so I knew what I was doing. I was playing the game right, playing the system right. And this can go out. You can find my ex-employers and you can send that to them, because they will watch this and they will probably think, good for him, good for him. I played the system the way that I wanted to play it for me. Also, there was other parts of that job that I did privately. There was private security work that I did during my time away from my static job. But I don't want to talk about these things because it's not fair on some of the people that I would have worked for or with. In person, I might give you an example, but I certainly won't say the job roles that I was doing at the time. And that doesn't mean that I'm anyone special. It just means I want to really respect the people that I was contracted to serve and provide for. That's all I want to say there. So after 9.5 years, an allegation was put towards me from a lecturer was put towards me. Apparently I was rude and abrupt to her and I wouldn't allow her to get her car out of the car park. I don't understand this logic, because at this point I didn't lock the car park. In fact, my manager had to come to work to see the CCTV because I didn't lock the car park because I was asleep. So the car park didn't get locked because I didn't want to have to wake up in the morning to unlock it. So I just left it unlocked. I just closed it. But this lecturer, she had it in for me, and the university wanted to have a board meeting with me and sit down. So I've written my resignation. I decided to leave this job. And it was the scariest thing that I'd done. Scariest thing I'd done. Not to have that money come in at the end of each week, after all my deductions, a very good wage to come in at the end of each week, not to have that, scared the life out of me. So at this point, I've been living in the battle bus for maybe about 2 years now. And I realized that my cost of living had dropped massively and that I didn't have to rely on this wage coming in, because the wage that was coming in was just funding stuff that I didn't need. It was just funding a lifestyle that suppressed me more because I was working that much. So to get away from the working, I'd just buy expensive things. I would have days out on my own. I would eat junk food every single day. I would drink beer as often as I could. So leaving that job, I needed to be a different character. So I decided to be a full-on nomad. Now, this character was the character that didn't have a job. This character just drove around the country in his van, just loving life, absolutely loving life. So the best moments of my life were during this stage. But unfortunately, the money that I had accrued doesn't last forever. You soon go through it. When you start having mechanical breakdowns, when you start dining out a lot more, when you want to buy fancy stuff, this soon goes. It soon goes. When you're blowing £100 a day on diesel, and this is when diesel prices were moderately okay, and the bank account soon drops. So I had to do something else. To a job that I didn't really want to do, but I know that I can do the job, and this job goes down through my family line. Like, not so much the job that I'll be doing, but actually driving, being on the road, doing the transport work has been in my family for as long as I know. So I did that for a couple of years, and I couldn't put up with the person I was working for. They were demanding too much for very, very little money, withholding wages if you didn't abide by their rules. If you turned round and you said, Wednesday next week, I'm not available for the shift, which you could do because you only had to let them know on the Friday what days you were available the week before. So on the Wednesday night, you get a text message from your so-called boss. You're not required tomorrow, as in the Thursday. So I would text back to this very cleverly. Now, a lot of people, they would beg. They would be then panicking because they have this normal life they need to pay for. I'm living in a van. I had no expenses really. So I had an instant response. No problem. Can you book me off until Wednesday next week? Comes round to Wednesday next week. I get a text message on the Wednesday evening. Are you available to work tomorrow? My response? Unfortunately, my plans have changed. Because I was not having someone dictate and control me and tell me when I can and can't work. You cannot do this. Play fair with me, I'll play fair with you. So I did play this game a little bit longer, but I knew my time would be up. Working for this company, and I was just buying my time, and every day my days were getting later and later. Bear in mind, I was living in Bristol at the time, and they would say to me at 4 p.m, 3:30, 4, could I make my way to Colchester to go and pick up a key for key, which is drop one off, pick one up. Now, I know that the place that I'm going in Colchester, if I'm not there before 6, there is no way that I can pick up a car. So I say no. I go home. I pick up the car Monday morning. I'm sorry. I got told to come to the office now to hand in my tray plates to and that they would arrange me a taxi home. So I didn't see the message, unfortunately. I was driving. I couldn't see the message, so I drove home because I'd already said that's what I was doing, and because I said that's what I was doing, that's what I was insured to do. Now, when I get back, he tells me that it was unlawful that I drove the car to Bristol. I should have took it to Gloucester because I drove past Gloucester to get to Bristol, etc., etc. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, but I'm back in the van now. What would you like to do about this? So I got told that I was uninsured, that I shouldn't have drove the car to Bristol, and that they were going to report me to the police for doing so. So I put okay, and I waited. The place where I was living at the time was a campsite. I actually spoke to the campsite owners. I was like, listen, you might get a phone call. The police might want to speak to me. If they do, please allow them to come and speak to me. This person doesn't really like authority either, doesn't really want trouble, but I know that I've not done anything wrong. I have my own trade policy. My trade policy covers me for any vehicle as long as I have my trade plates with me. So I knew that I hadn't broke any rules, and I waited and nothing come. Then I got a text message on the Monday morning, bring the car to the office now. So I text back saying I can't, I'm not insured, remember. And I left it. On the Friday, I didn't get paid. I left it all week. There was no payment for me from the Friday. So I didn't get the week's wages for all the work I'd done the previous week. So what I decided to do is I phoned up the customer of the car that I was delivering. So the customer network, I decided to get in touch with their branch. And I said that it was essentially Martin, and I was contracted to this company, and I have this VRM in my possession. Unfortunately, I can't release the vehicle because there's outstanding payments for the vehicle, and the company that I was working for need to provide me with this payment so that I can release the vehicle to them so we can get the vehicle to you as quick as we can. I'm so sorry for this inconvenience. Please know I'm doing everything in my power to have this resolved as soon as we can, but the payment release fee needs to be paid by the contractor that is collecting your vehicle. In 20 minutes, boom, phone call, phone's ringing. We'll give you half the money now, and when you give us the car, we'll give you half the money. What does this sound like? It sounds like you're playing some gangster stuff on me. Like, come on, you're meant to be a professional company. And I said, no. I said, you send me the money and then I give you the key for the car and you come and collect the car. And this went on for about 4 hours. In the end, they decided to get somebody else from the office because apparently I'm very threatening, very intimidating, and the big man himself wouldn't come and see me. And when I was there, he said, do you have the car key? He said, the car key is here. I said, but I need the bank transfer. We waited 25 minutes for the money to be put into my account. I handed over the keys and I haven't worked a job since. The only work that I've done is the work for me. Yes, there is people that I help out. I know that's a bit of a long story because I do this, but this is me. So this is examples of me not playing, not getting along with the system. This is me deciding to do what I think is best for me. This is why the new t-shirt that's down below says conformity. I like my way better because that's what I believe. I don't believe that I should conform to anyone else's beliefs. What I should do is follow my beliefs. Someone left a comment saying, I didn't think you'd served, Marty. And there's a picture of me in the barracks wearing military gear. I didn't serve. I did not serve in the military. What I did is I signed up to the TA, the reserves, for a little while to see if it's something I wanted to do. And the things they were telling me within 3 weeks was trying to program me. It was trying to tell me their beliefs. It was trying to make me think the same as that person and that person and that person and that person. And I'm not them people. I'm me. I am not them people. I am me. I am my own character. I can change my look and style whenever I want. Someone called me a chameleon in the comments. Somebody also said that maybe I should have worked in films. I believe that. I believe that maybe I should have worked in films because I can change my appearance. I can change my look. I am a chameleon. If I don't want to be seen and found, I'm not seen and found. I can be the most brightly coloured person in the most hippiest of vans. How many times have people seen me out and about? Realistically, I never get seen. I never get seen unless I want to be seen. I can spend a full day out in Castello, and if I don't want to bump into somebody that recognises me, I don't get bumped into by someone that recognises me. I can go to a party, and I can be there for an hour, 2 hours, sitting on my own for a little while. Just in the shadows, just a little bit, or next to the fire, but change my appearance, change my look a little bit. Maybe have my hood a little bit more over my face, and just sit, just staring somewhere a bit different, but I'm still looking over here. Not actually looking over there. I can change the person that I want to be. I can be the character that I want to be in life. I've started putting myself on little missions now. When I walk from one place to another, I see how far I can get before the person in front of me turns around to see that I'm there. But on the same wave of being aware, I try and listen to which way traffic is going now. So if I'm walking down a lane and I hear something come behind me and it turns off, I'm trying to work out which way it's gone. Or did it come out of a junction? I'm playing games with myself now. I really am changing the character that I want to be. I want to bring in every aspect of every version of my life. I want to bring it. So I'm going to basically write down the aspects of my life. I've already started doing this. And then what I liked about these things. And I want to see what links up. And this thing that's in the middle, that there is going to be my goal. Don't be an NPC. Don't be controlled. Don't just do the normal routine that you do every single day. Do something different. Change your appearance. Change your attitude. Change your style. Change your job. Change your life. Peace out.